What up, YouTube? Back at it on another truck. So today we got my dad's 97 Seal Cab short box, and we are getting rid of this little tiny baby V6. So we're in the process right now of pulling the 4.3 out of this truck. We got most of everything undone so far, so that way we can stick the big block in there that you've seen me moving around in the last couple of videos. So we got that to go in this truck. Right now we're just working on pulling everything so we can do the swap properly. Pretty straightforward swap. Take everything off, pull it out. Some differences you'll know is the V6, they actually put the mounts further back to inset the motor as far back as possible. So those have to come out. We're going to drill some holes in the frame so we can access all those bolts on both sides. We'll do 2 holes. Otherwise, we'd have to take out all the front suspension, and we are not about that. We are about getting this done efficiently. Another thing that's going to make our lives a lot easier is pulling the bulkhead here off the firewall, and then the whole harness will come with it. So we got a few things we got to take off. We got to take the exhaust off, the transmission mount, the engine mounts, and the wiring. So I'll set up a time lapse once we get to the point where we're hooking chains to it. And once it's out, we'll do a little comparison of how actual small this 4.3 is compared to the 7.4. And we'll go into more detail once we start putting the big block in it. Like always, this is gonna be fun. Hopefully people will learn some shit. If not, oh well. Well, we were gonna time lapse. Didn't happen. So anyways, the 4.3's out. As you see, you could take it out with the whole harness. It comes in right here on the firewall right there. And you come all the way over to the driver's side, and there is a T30 that holds that bulkhead into the firewall. Like I mentioned in the other clip, these are the 4.3 mounts that we have to take out. And instead of dropping all the suspension, messing with all that, we are going to just hole saw right here, right in the middle. I'm going to go right here, hole saw, come over to this side, and put one right there. And you really only want one that's just like a little bit bigger than the head of the wrench you're using. It's not going to cause any stress fractures because it's a circle. You don't have to worry about water or rain getting in there. It's going to drop right out the bottom. There's holes in the bottom. If you are that worrisome of a person, you can get a rubber plug and stick in there from the parts store. I mean, that's really going to be your preference if you're doing this. So, all right, guys. Let's see here, another snip here. Got the engine bay all freshened up here for the big block. As you can see, we have the mounts in, just your 5.7, 7.4 mounts. The mounts are already drilled. The holes are already drilled for the mounts. You can see this is the hole that we put in to get to access all these. Made it super easy. Put these mounts in both sides. Took maybe 20-30 minutes. Got them all tightened, torqued, Loctited, all ready to go. Got the engine bay all painted up, all pretty. We got the big block all pretty, ready to go. We're gonna throw it here up on the time lapse so you can see us shoving this bad boy into the engine bay. So let me put you on the tripod and we'll get this going for you. All right, guys, so you saw in the last clip, or the time lapse, you saw us dropping the engine into the engine bay. Everything went pretty smoothly. We did cut the time lapse a little short just because we ended up having to pry a couple things, just getting a pry bar just to pry it onto the mount. Nothing crazy. So we did some figuring out here too while off camera. We figured out what conversion U-joint we needed to make the original truck drive shaft work with the ADE setup. So it's just a 1350 to a 1344 conversion, so that way you can take the 4L80 yoke and put it onto the drive shaft that was already currently on the 1500 truck. As you can see, we have the factory power steering pump that was already in the truck back on. What else? So far, oh, for the trans cross member, the 2 bolts on the driver's side, you just have to move back and find the holes. On the passenger side, you do have to drill one of the holes. Not a big deal. You can just get a cheap Harbor Freight bit and blow through it. And everything else bolts up like it should. Now that we got the drive shaft situation figured out, once we get the U-joint in a day or two, I'll make a clip of me putting that together. But realistically now, it's just taking the time, making sure everything's torqued and thread locked, make sure the wiring's out of the way, not going to be burning up on nothing. Putting all the cooler lines in, the radiator, the fan. So, I don't know if we're really going to show us, because that's just maintenance and bolting stuff up. I don't really see the point in videoing, like me putting an exhaust manifold on, or putting the alternator on, or putting the fan or radiator in. If you need to learn how to do that, there's going to be other videos out there to watch. But for the conversion part of putting this big block in where the 4.3 is, that's where we're at. You put your V8 mounts in, move your cross member back for the transmission, get a conversion U-joint for the drive shaft, and realistically everything else is just going to be plugging in. The throttle cable should work just fine. Should be long enough. Yep, that's long enough too. I mean, that just shows, like, just Chevys just put whatever motor in. So I'm gonna stop rambling here and get to work putting some stuff together. If I find anything that might be helpful, I'll make another clip, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, I kind of missed out on my last clip here. We just got back from our holiday dinner with my dad's truck here, and everyone's all laughing. He just did a 200-foot rolling burnout out of the restaurant. Truck's done. It's great. I want to give a special thanks to Drag Radial Performance down in Florida for doing our VATS delete and tune on the vehicle. It was really great to work with Steve. Very knowledgeable. I hope I get to work with him again on some future projects. So some things I want to go over in this, if you're going to be doing this at home. Now, I found out the hard way that 98, 99, 2000, the harnesses are different where they plug in for the headlight harness, and the harness that plugs in over on this side of the firewall underneath your evaporator. So I ended up taking, since we had a full parts truck, I ended up taking the full harness out for the dash and the headlight harness, so that way it all plugged in. You could repin it. I didn't mind doing the extra labor to put the harness in, but that would be something to look out for. So if you're doing a 96 or a 97, try to stick with a 96 or a 97. That way everything will plug in like it should, no problem. If you're doing 98, 99, or 2000, you're probably going to have to do the VATS delete for the security, and it wouldn't necessarily be bad to get it tuned if you're going to be using the stock 10-bolt rear end, so that way your speedo will be all correct, the shift points will be correct. So yeah, I'm excited. My dad's excited. My brother came in from the East Coast. He just got to drive it. Everyone's just happy with it. It's kind of cool because this truck, it's pretty much the only truck me and my brother have known. My dad's had it since we were little ass kids. Me and my brother both learned how to drive on it. I picked up my first motorcycle with this truck. I picked up my 66 Chevelle with this truck. This truck's just been a great workhorse for the last almost 30 years at this point. I'm just trying to think what else I might have missed. My clips are all over the place for this video. It's a little cold out now, out here in the Midwest, but everyone's really happy with it. If I forget anything, Let me know. Let me know what you have questions on. I have all the info. I have no problem answering comments and trying to do the best I can. I could always make up a follow video with like a Q&A if that would help a lot of people. But I'm going to be signing off on this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys get to enjoy as much as me and my family have gotten to enjoy so far.